Every young adult novel. Antagonist. I've been training for this my entire life. Protagonist. And I had no training at all, yet here I am, ahead of you. My unread books watching me buy new books. Every dystopian young adult novel. My name is Wicker Basket, and I am the chosen one. I am very plain, but also gorgeous. Two hot white dudes are in love with me. Which one do I choose? I'm so clumsy, except all forms of combat. I'm a vampire. Young adult novel. Who could the lost princess be? Me. I don't know, certainly not the only female protagonist who is specifically stated to be the same age as the lost princess would be. When your friend finally reads a book you kept telling them about and they love it. When someone tells me they don't read romance novels because they are just too unrealistic. Why is it a bad thing to lose touch with reality? Have you seen reality lately? It's terrible. Me. Books where a 21-year-old girl dates a 500,000-year-old mythical lord. Person. You seriously read that entire book in a day? Me. What? Like it's hard? To be honest, I think any book with a love triangle should be labeled as fantasy, because really, having two people wanting to be with you? At the same time? Bleeping witchcraft. When I finish a book and have to return to reality. You be careful out there in the real world, alright? Everyone's not as friendly as us. Person. It doesn't need to have a happily ever after to be a romance genre novel. Me. When you finally emerge after reading for hours. What year is it? Knowing what happens in the book someone is reading. Me after my favorite character dies, again. Mom. Are you doing okay, sweetie? Me. Everything going wrong in my life. Romance novels. Mafia heroes the day after their arranged marriage to the girl they despise. I've only had her for a day and a half, but if anything happened to her, would kill everyone in this room and then myself. If I had $1 for every fictional character I caught feelings for, I could afford the therapy I obviously need. When you're tired but you only have one more chapter. How I act when I get a new book. I'm going on an adventure. It's been almost 14 years and the fact that Bella just straight up Googles whether or not Edward is a vampire is the most relatable and yet somehow timeless aspect of this book. Closing all the little windows. Eventually I made it to my favorite search engine. I shot down a few more pop-ups and then typed in one word. Vampire. Going into the bookstore looking for one book and walking out with 18. I regret nothing. Great photo of all my friends who've borrowed my books and somehow damaged them. When you're halfway through a book and come to a plot twist at 1 a.m. I don't need sleep. I need answers. How I look browsing in a used bookstore. How I feel. Raise your hand if you've ever fallen in love with a fictional character. Book mad. You can't read that entire book in one day. Don't believe me, just watch. When something big is happening in your book and you want to read it but at the same time you don't. That terrifying moment when there's too many things that need resolving but the book has only 20 pages left. Me. I'm not buying any more books until I read the ones I have. Me to me. You'll read them all eventually. Add to your collection. See someone reading your favorite book. You. I like you. When you're reading a book and you get to the part where the title starts to make sense. When the book I was loving has a terrible ending. After all we've been through. There are two kinds of people. People who use bookmarks. And monsters. You have too many books. Nobody asked you. When you get to an exciting part in your book but people keep interrupting you. Some people prefer playing video games. Others prefer staring at marked slices of trees and hallucinate for hours on end. My reaction to sad endings in books. This is not what I want. This is not what I planned. And I just gotta say, I do not understand. That moment when you finish a book, look around, and realize that everyone is just carrying on with their lives, as though you didn't just experience emotional trauma at the hands of a paperback. When there's a sale at your favorite bookstore. When you're reading during school and your favorite character dies, but you're at school so you just. When you finish an amazing series and it was so good, but now it's over and you've forgotten how to live without it. I'm probably fine, but I also might be dead. When people come near my books. No touchy. Whenever you see a DIY project that involves cutting a book. When an author randomly includes other woman or other man drama just because. Slow burn romance novel. 600 pages in, still no kiss. Person. It is a romance novel but there is no happily ever after. Me. You promised me a book with no other women drama. There was other women drama. I will not forget this. Young adult novels be like. Mary Sue was just an ordinary teenager. Until she wasn't. The author when they sneak the title into the book. Me when I find it. Me coming out of my room to explain an entire book plot to my mom after it completely destroyed me emotionally. My mom. What you're thinking when your friend keeps telling you what is about to happen in the book you are reading. When you finish a book and let it soak in. Me to any random scrap of paper when I've lost my bookmark again. You'll be a bookmark. A man walks up to a librarian and asks, "Do you have any books on Pavlov's dogs and Schrodinger's cat?" The librarian responds, "It rings a bell but I'm not sure if it's here or not." Ideally, keep fewer than 30 books. Marie Kondo. No one needs that kind of negativity. This book has absolutely no information on killing birds. When I'm shopping with my friends and I see a bookstore in the distance. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. People who use books for decoration only. Teenager in a novel. Goes through incredibly stressful coming-of-age ritual. Teenager in novel. Fights against oppressive regime. Teenager in novel. Juggles two love interests. Teenager in novel. Somehow look smoking hot throughout. Teenager in real life. Mom, I can't find my socks. Slow books. Was describing your sandwich necessary to our understanding of what happened? When it's 2 a.m. but you're trying to read one more chapter. I feel it. Dystopian governments in teen novels when the resistance leader is a teenage girl with 2 guys orbiting her. When someone tells you the movie is better than the book. There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. When I'm reading and someone tries to start a conversation. Don't talk anymore, okay? It's only gonna upset me. When you come back to finish a story after too long a break. I have no memory of this place. I wonder if those fictional characters are thinking about me too. When your favorite author kills your favorite character. I trusted you. What's the matter, sweetie? Is one of your book characters having difficulties? Surfing the internet or reading books? Both. Both is good. When someone says, it's a bestseller, so it must be good. When you don't trust the book's protagonist but you keep reading anyways. Spam from Hogwarts. Enemies to lovers' romances. Me. Friend. What is the best way to read a fantasy series? Me. All of them at once, I suppose. Me. I love slow-burning romances in my books. Also me. Just bleeping kiss each other for bleeping hell's sake. When someone talks bad about my morally gray book boyfriend. Me. You bleep. I respect that fantasy as a genre has simply refused to standardize the spelling of fairy. Fairy. Fae. Fae. Fair folk. Fairy. Just an F and whatever vowels you have in your heart. Fantasy readers trying to understand the magic. What kind of system is this? Why did we just collectively decide that fantasy worlds need to be populated solely by British, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, New Zealand, and Australian accents? I want ethereal fairies who sound like they were born and raised on a farm in Tennessee. Me, at fictional characters. This wouldn't be a problem if you just talked about your feelings. Me, in real life. If I give even the vaguest notion of my feelings to anybody, I would die. Someone. What's your dream date? Me. Realistic young adult novel. Just 300 pages of stressed-out teens doing SAT prep. When your favorite book cover is replaced by the movie poster. Normal people with their books. Me. My precious. I need to stop buying books. Oh look, a book sale. When someone keeps talking to you while you're trying to read. Youth dystopian novel protagonist. I guess you could say there's a darkness in me. I'm not normal. Never have been. Barista at Jamba Juice. Ma'am, are you going to order anything? I'm a retired high school librarian who has read a lot of young adult dystopian fiction. Don't worry, there is a 17-year-old girl out there who is going to solve COVID-19 as soon as she decides which of the 2 hot guys, who are fighting over her, to settle on. When someone starts comparing Rose Hathaway with Bella Swan, at first I'm like, really? That's cute. Then I'm like, say that again, I dare you. What if writers of dystopian novels are just submitting their world domination plans for peer review?